don't know why it happened, and just because we don't yet understand it, doesn't mean that we need to invoke a complex intelligence at the beginning of it.
That's okay.
We're talking about data. We're based on data here, the scientific method. Throughout the course of your life, our lives, we're going on what we've observed around us, and using the scientific method to break this down and come to a conclusion. We sit at this conclusion now, that's why we're debating. In the scientific method, I think some of the great scientists will tell you that there's always a wild card, some kind of a pie, an X factor, something that's happening that was not previously accounted for. There is never a complete puzzle in a scientific theory. There's always a missing piece that is unexplained. And what I know it's hard how I'm putting it forth, but I'm thinking, if you're using a scientific method to break something down, and in the same instance you get, repeated twice, you get two different results. What was the difference there? So what was the difference between these two scientific experiments you conducted? They were different, yet you conducted them the same. There was an odd factor, and that reflects the very life we see, the way I see it. The difference between a theist or someone like myself who believes in some kind of creator and somebody who doesn't is that you taking that unforeseen factor in your scientific observances and calling it nothing, as opposed to us who apply it into some kind of intelligence. Does that work there? This kind of fell apart as I was trying to explain it.
Well, I think the problem is that, see, what we do is I think what we're doing is we're drawing a conclusion up to what evidence we have and what we know and what we can confirm. And there is nothing to confirm the fact that there's an intelligence behind it. We only see natural processes. Now, could there be one? Yes, I remember saying that.
What are you if you're not? I mean, you're intelligent.
Yeah, and that's your point. So I'm intelligent.
Obviously, there's intelligence inherent in the universe.
No, that's not obvious at all.
But don't you believe in evolution?
That has something to do with intelligence. Explain to me how that has to do with intelligence.
Well, because everything that evolves existed in prior form.
Now, if you want to sit here, and discuss how intelligence came about, how emotions, how poor actually all of our faculties are, I could sit here and give you an explanation of how they possibly evolved in, and with evidence to back it, and show that intelligence was not necessary for it. It's a natural process. But that does not in any way insinuate that there has to be an intelligent designer or a god behind it. You're dropping in your predisposed.
Oh, so are you. I mean, that's wrong.
No, I'm not at all. I'm basing on evidence that's here. If I say 1 and 1 equals 2, if you say it equals 3, because I know there's another one out there, I'm going to say, show me that one. Where is it? No one's been able to show me that one. So from now on, 1 plus 1 equals 2.
So the possibility still exists. You just haven't been shown the evidence.
Well, I'm waiting for it. Please show us evidence. That's what I'm asking for.
You haven't seen the evidence. Okay, that's fine. Now, we only got 2 minutes, so I'm going to make a closing statement, and then we'll make a closing statement. All right? I've debated a number of people on atheism, and it can go around in circles for hours before you get to some conclusions. For instance, the eternal argument was eliminated by them because they didn't want to touch it, go near it, because they knew where I was going. The bottom line is this. They believe matter and energy is eternal. In this matter and energy contains all power. And in this power contains all knowledge. And in this, this is what's called the universe. Now the bottom line is that is the definition of creation according to atheists when you go around in circles for a few hours. The end result is there is very little difference in the definition between a theist and an atheist, because theists believe that God is eternal, God is everywhere, God is all-knowing, and that sort of thing. So there really isn't much difference. The only difference is a theist will use the term God, an atheist will never use the term God. They use matter, energy, or or whatever else they want to use.
I disagree 100% with you. Matter of fact, that statement you just made is full of assumptions and biases and unsupported conclusions, and that's not what atheists. I cannot speak for all atheists. At least the atheists I know, that's not what they're like at all. It's all based on evidence, and the fact that you can't see the fact that they're making assumptions is a difficult part for me. I think that I'm trying to explain to you, and in no way, trying to be rude, but I'm trying to explain to you that you're making assumptions. You're not making conclusions that are connected. You think you're making connections, but you're not. So, I disagree 100%. We're very different.
Well, I just think the difference between you and I is theists like to invoke a creator, a complex intelligence. When you don't understand something, an atheist looks for a reason for it, rather than invoking something that just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I was just going to say that suggesting that we actually believe in this eternal ideas, I think, no offense, fundamentally ridiculous. The reason is because, again, as Mike said, you're presupposing a large number of things without actually making any conclusions. The conclusions you make are to sort of fill in gaps where it's okay to say, I don't know, or I don't want to think about it. Those are actually perfectly acceptable answers. Those are the answers you get. It's okay to say, I don't know. Is there a God? I don't know. I see no evidence to suggest there is. Therefore, I'm not going to live my daily life presupposing that one exists. So that's what atheists do.
Okay. Thanks very much. We have to end this segment, and then Brian, you want to end this segment, and then maybe we can do some more. Not tonight, maybe, because I know you guys have to go. I think we definitely just scratched the surface, and I hope you guys will come back, and especially all three of you. I think it's really, especially you. All right.
Richard, at the beginning, you said that there was two kinds of atheists. I'm paraphrasing. It was the God haters, or correct me what it was. So, what answer did you come up with?
Rational thinker, angry.
I've got a lot of thinking.
He knows more about
I'm not sure that was
the
fair.
natural world than all of us put together.
Just one last observation, kind of, off the record here, use it or not. The last time we did this roundtable, this is the second time we've done this. The first time, the entire discussion revolved around evolution. That can go on forever, all those scientific things. So this isn't so much a comment of contention to you, more to affirm the thought that I have now that Darwin put forth all this research. Darwin, the icon of atheism.
Darwin is the icon of evolution, not atheism.
No, I misworded that. An atheist will use the theory of evolution repeatedly again and again and again to
It's because it proves the book of Genesis completely false.
Okay, we're not
Debating. I know, we're not. I'm just saying that's why an atheist would bring that up.
Okay.
That's just why they would do that.
I just want to mention, a lot of atheists I know will not bring it up unless they're the theists that we're speaking to bring up evolution being incorrect. And it's more to correct them because you can believe in evolution and also believe in a God too. There's no reason why you shouldn't.
Well, it's been a long while since I've looked into any of Darwin's work, because there was a time in my life where I went into this, and he, like most bird species, all these things, looking for the jump from species to species of how things were evolving, did he come up with, like I mentioned earlier, that X factor, that unexplainable thing, and even in some of his writings, he attributed this to an outside intelligence, did he not?
No. Now, you're basically, when you initially said, so one experiment is done exactly in one way, comes with one result, another experiment done exactly the same way, a second result, and then there's some sort of X factor. That's the basic explanation I'll try to refer to. Speak up. As a scientist, if you did an experiment where you done it the exact same way and a different result came out, that's something every scientist dreams of, because it's investigating that X factor, doing other experiments and doing other things to determine what that is. The truth is, that's what's going to get you money from the government. Do these experiments. and that's how the scientists get paid. So finding that is what every scientist wants to do, and every scientist is going to investigate that until they find out what that is, determine exactly how it works, and then make those two experiments run exactly the same way.
But Darwin was worried about problems